Welcome, this is Ageless John teaching another Android Studio tutorial. Again, we're back with this tutorial, and this is a mini-series within our series about the navigation drawer. So, let's begin. The header is going to be this up here, and then the item row is going to be used again, over and over again for every item that we have in here. And if you'll turn to these, you can see them. For instance, this has this in it, and you can find the circle image view in it, the text view, and the linear layout. And then if we go over here to the item row, you can see the same thing. You can see the image view and then the text view. So that's where this order comes from. Next, let's look here at the header XML. Now, if you'll notice here in our app, when we open it up here, our header has this circular image view for basically our profile picture, and then these two text views. And so that is what this is going to do. In fact, that item that I added in your Gradle, the circle image view, is related to that library because it gives you the ability to create those circular image views that you see so commonly on the internet. I'd like to point out, if you look closely here at the app that we just created, with this coloring you really can't tell, but this up here is not translucent. And for many of you are used to the idea of something sliding under this being translucent. And again, for instance, if you were used a graphic in the header instead of just a generic color like I did, it would slide under here and you could see it through the bar. Now, if you want to do that, I suggest that you go down and look at my tutorial information, other information. The very bottom of how to make material design navigation drawer with header view. In that actual website by Akash Bangad, he does teach you how to do that. I'm not going to do that because I didn't use a graphic. Before we drill down into this too deep, I did want to point out this right here. This is the activity underscore main, and this is the main underscore menu underscore main. And these both have very little to do with the actual navigation drawer itself. They are more attuned with this aspect of the app, these buttons and the bar. So they don't really have a whole bunch to do with the app adapter and the navigation drawer. And if that helps you segregate things easier and get a better understanding of the important navigation drawer issues, that's good. Before we begin looking at the main activity in the My Adapter, I wanted to turn here real quick because I think this is kind of important. I put this as a note. The Android layout width equals 270. If yours is too wide or too narrow, that's where you modify this, the width of how far it comes out. So I thought I might point that out because that could be handy. As for the main activity in the My Adapter, I'm really not going to talk about them a whole lot. What I'm going to look at more is the event handler and how that works. Most of this is actually fairly well notated, so you should be able to follow along pretty easily on what's going on. But I did want to get into a little bit more detail on how the event handler for this works, because it's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. Now we're going to turn to the main activity and see how we handled the OnTap event handler. There's actually two different ways of doing it. Well, probably more than that even. There's two different ways that I know of doing. There's one that you can put in the actual adapter class and one in the main activity class. We're going to discuss the one in the main activity class. But if you wanted to go down below and look at the links on Recycle View, handling OnItemTouch for a navigation drawer, they do go into quite a lot of detail on how to do that with the adapter class. So if you find that useful, it's down there for you. Alright, within here, what we want to do first is create a gesture detector object to detect a single tap up touch. This we can use it later to call to verify if the touch is a single tap up type or some other type of touch, like a swipe touch or a long touch. There are two parameters that are accepted by the gesture detector The first one is the context, and the second one is the gesture listener. We're going to create a simple on-gesture listener, which returns true if the motion event, in this event case, if it is a single tap up or of a touch. So, if we call the M gesture detector on touch event, and if it returns true, then the motion event is passed to its type single tap up. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to pass the OnItemTouch listener object to the recycler view method, and we're going to set this up as an add-on touch listener. When you create an OnItemTouch listener, you have to override two methods. The public boolean OnInterceptTouch event, as well as this one, the public void OnTouch event. Now, there's two situations in which the recycler view can have a touch event in this situation. One is when the user is trying to swipe the list up or down, and the second would be when the user is clicking on the item in the recycle view. What we don't want is we don't want the recycle view to think the touch event which has occurred for click is for swiping. And to help us tell the recycle view this, we use the OnInterceptTouch event. And this OnInterceptTouch event takes over the touch event before it's passed to recycle view. This way we can check with just gesture detector if the touch is single tap up or of type of touch, and if it is, we can then handle the touch and return true, and if it's not, then we simply return false and let the recycle view handle the touch. Next, we just need to figure out the position of the item being clicked. This is easy to do. What we're going to do is we're going to use the position with the method from recycle view period get child position item. So what we need to do is pass the item view for which the position we want to use. We need to get the view which is being touched or clicked. We use recycler view dot find child view under motion dot get x comma motion event, this right here, to do this. What we are using here is the motion event, which is touch event, and we use get x and get y to provide the location of that touch. Then we turn to find child view under, which takes those coordinates and returns the view under those coordinates. Then we just pass the view returned by this method to .getChildPosition to get the position of the item being clicked. Simple. This has been Ancient John teaching another Android Studio tutorial. I hope this has been at least somewhat helpful and instructive and help you understand this subject. So there's more information below. Please take advantage of the many resources provided on the internet. This is Ageless John. Don't forget to subscribe and the thumbs up, and I'll see you around.